Welcome to the Weekly Podcast. Today's guest is Neal McCoy.
It's got to be something more that goes with that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to keep going.
I'm messing.
He's a shoe salesman turned multi-platinum selling country artist. He has done 17 USO tours for our troops. He's raised $15 million for families facing life-threatening illnesses.
Yes, sir.
Been married to the same woman for 45 years.
So far, but if everything's worked out.
That's right.
Should be divorced by the time I get back home.
And done over 10 years worth.
Yes, sir.
Of the pledge every day without fail live on Facebook.
Yes, sir. No days off.
He's a man of commitment, a local legend. Neal, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Look, I didn't even have to pay him to be here.
That's right.
I know. Well,
I mean, he made.
I'm not out of here yet. Hang on.
He made time for the little people. We broke his tractor, but he made time for the little people.
That's right.
That's the least you could do.
I should have added that. A man who just got off his tractor, Neal McCoy.
Yeah, that's your. Yeah. Well, they're probably hey y'all. Yeah. They're probably going. Oh, we did just get off the tractor. It's exactly right.
I bet it was Sway that conned you into this, wasn't it?
He did, yeah. But I had planned on, somebody had reached out to me, or I'd heard somebody was wanting to talk to me about doing it before Swade called me. So when he called me, I was probably going to go do it anyway. But now, at least my son got something out of it.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's my Luke Casey concierge.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, Luke Casey concierge.
Yeah, Swade's awesome. Yeah.
He's a good kid. We're pretty blessed. Finally got him out of L.A.
Yeah, well, he's enhanced my wardrobe and decrease my pocketbook.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't tell him, man. He'll run with that.
There we go. Well, Jeremiah is the country music aficionado, so I know he's got plenty of questions for you. But
yeah,
I wanted to start with one, and that I was kind of digging through, and I hear in 2009 you got a very special hat. You used to wear it occasionally.
Oh, my USO cap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
and now you save it for special occasions. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I have actually, and that cap, it says USO on it, and I'd been wearing it a long time. It's camouflage, and I had worn it on a lot of USO tours over in Iraq and Afghanistan, Pakistan, a lot of that stuff. So it had a lot of meaning to me. So I wore it every day. It's the only hat I ever wore. But then it came a time where I noticed it was just becoming threadbare. I mean, it was starting to tear, and so I said, you know what? I'm gonna get out of this thing and just start wearing some other stuff because I want to hang on to it. And the USOs wrote me. They did some kind of magazine, and they said, if we take care of it, you can send it however you want to send it. Oh God! I just wad it up, and stick it in a manila envelope. Yeah. So they said, however you want to send it, and because we're going to take a picture of it and put it in this magazine for one of the things to remind folks about the USO. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. It is, but I did quit wearing it a while back because it's coming threadbare. But one time we played, there's a great big country music festival called the Hodag. It's up in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. There are thousands and thousands of people come there. And I was going to the stage. We were closing at night, and the band had already gone out there. And I was walking out there. I think somebody just introduced me. And so I was walking out there, and somebody was hollering down at the front. They were standing down there. He said, Neal. I said, hey, buddy, what you doing? I was trying to go, I'm fixing to do a show. Matter of fact, you're in the show now.
Yeah.
But he said, no, I've got a hat I want to give you. I said, I'll run over. He said, my gunner, he said, you came, I guess it may be Talil, Iraq. I don't remember exactly where. He said, but you came over and saw us. And he said, we found out about it. So we jumped in a Humvee and made our way over there and got there just in time before you started. And then he said, I've been coming to Hodag for a lot of years, and I knew you. So I said, man, you got to go with me. So we went over there, and so he gave me that hat, and he said, this is a gunner's hat of mine that he died about a month after you were there, after we saw you. Yeah. And he said he got killed, and I said, oh, man. So I told him at that time, I said, it'd be about the only thing you ever see me in. And it was for 4 years. That's all I wore every day was that hat. And my wife was going, can you put it in the dishwasher? Is there anything you can wash? I said, no, you can't.
Right.
What'd you do?
You wash all the charm out of it and the work out of it.
Did you frame it? You have it now?
I have it in the house. Yeah, I do not have it framed because it's really, I'm really not going to mess it up just by moving it. It's already messed up.
We'll just get him a shadow box one day.
That's right. That's what I need to say. It would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah. Thank you for asking about that, though, because it's got great memories. And that guy, he used to come to Hodag, and I called him one day, and I said, man, I'm going to do some other interview, and we didn't have podcasts at that time yet, or they weren't known as that, I guess. And I said, can I wear it? I think it may have been the Tonight Show. I don't remember, but it was somewhere where a lot of people are going to have an opportunity to see it. And I was going to try and tell the story about it. And I said, I just want to know if I could, would it bother you if you said, because it's still that sometimes it bothered him a little bit when he saw me, when he would come to the shows and, because it just triggered him and his buddy.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I wanted to call him. He said, and he said, man, I just don't know. I don't know if his family, I don't know what his family would think. And I said, well, that's cool. So I didn't wear it.
Yeah.
Just out of respect. And I saw him a couple times, and then I haven't seen him about 5 or 6 years. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neal was building his Facebook platform before podcasts were the buzzword.
That's right.
Over 1 million followers. His fans are the best.
They are absolutely the best. Yeah, Neal Billy's what we call him. That's exactly right.
That's amazing. What a great name.
Yeah. And they live by it. They love it.
Yeah.
They love it to be called that. Somebody says, you're a Neal Billy. That's dang. Yeah. Oh, you're dang right I am.
And they go everywhere. Go everywhere. They'll
Bless
follow him
your hearts.
anywhere, man. It's cool.
Yeah. They're the ones that do make you or break you. And I do appreciate and understand what it takes some days, because we've got a few of them. And I said the pledge this morning for the 3,833rd, 83rd day.
That's right.
Or maybe 85th. And there are a couple of people that have said it every day with me.
Really?
I said, don't y'all have lives or a job or something? They said, and they said individually, they said, we will tell you that we've caught it a few times on replay.
Yeah.
I said, well, good for you, I would hope.
Yeah.
But so there's, and then the others just kind of drift in and drift out. But it's a big deal, and I don't talk about it on stage. I should mention, because it probably help us get a lot more followers. But but people come to me that do know when we do shows. They'll come up or they'll email me at an email address and say, would you mind if we showed up and said it with you? I said, no, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
So we should
have a lot of guests. Yeah. Usually do after E-Town weekend too, right?
Yeah.
People out, yeah.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to this time, though, because I've got as soon as Saturday night's over, after we do the show, I've got to get down to Hunt, Texas, I think, for some private thing.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot of consistency, because I read you did that even through losing your parents. You still showed up and did it. And that, I mean, look, that being married to the same woman for 45 years, how do you hold on and continue to be consistent through just the really hard times?
I don't know. I didn't ever set out to have a streak of saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And my attitude from really life in general, and especially to the stage, is that you're in on it. If we're doing a show, you're here to see a show, but when you leave, I want you to feel like, this is what I tell them, I want you to feel like you're leaving a friend's house, and you go, dang, I hate that we have to go. Or really, my ultimate goal is to feel like you've seen a great movie. Like when I go to a great movie, I see something that's going to be just the movie in general, what they're talking about, and then I maybe smiled and laughed a lot and cried a little bit, and so when you walk out, you just walk out going, that's exactly how we try and leave them in a show. And we've been pretty fortunate. I don't know exactly how. I think what I do on a show standpoint is exactly like y'all are talking to me. Mm-hmm. It won't be any different than when I go on stage. I'm just going to be the same person all the time, and that takes some out of you sometimes, because you do have things like a parent dying or something. But those people that were following me had been following me a long time, and they knew my parents and they know stuff. So it's like you would share it to one of your family members, and my family understood that none of them said, don't say that about Dad or something, And I said, well, I just feel like I ought to, and man, that was some tough times, but great times, Just sometimes you just got to go through that. I mean, if you live long enough. And I'm thinking this is happening with me. The longer you live, the more people you see die. It's just the way it is. I appreciate you letting me bring that in, because I'm awfully proud of that.
Well, it's got to be kind of hard too, trying to hang out with, say, your kids when they were younger in a small town, or go to the grandkids' ball game. I mean, how many? Oh, that's Neal over there.
Yeah.
And so it's really their time that's getting taken, not yours. Because I know you'll talk to people in Lowe's, you'll talk to people anywhere. You're very gracious with fans. I mean, very few people are that gracious with fans.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, and that's why my new catchphrase is "No days off," because I didn't start it too long ago. I told Mick, I said, Mick, I just want a pretty plain shirt, just says "No days off," and if you don't put a signature on it, you can. It doesn't matter to me. So that's what I live by, and because I want people to know that when you come to a show, you're going to get everything we have every time. We're never going to mail it in, so we don't take days off from our show. We don't take days off when we're out here or visiting, or if I'm run through Whataburger on the way back to the ranch, and some people are going to be in there that may know me. They'll come out, and I don't ever try to scoot past anybody.
Yeah.
I want to make everybody feel the same. Like, and they have stories. Somebody said, "Man," and when you stop, it's like, "Well, you remember when somebody starts a question like, 'Do you remember?' I go, 'No, I don't. I'm not responsible. You go ahead and tell me, but I promise you, I do not remember it.'" And they go, "Oh yeah, you will." And then they'll tell you, and I go, "I don't remember it." But I don't do that. And here's the way that y'all can. I'll give you some pointers today. This is the way I fade some of these conversations. When somebody will come up and you never let on. So when somebody comes up and says, "Well, you remember my brother? He told me about the time y'all did this and did that." And I go, "God, that sucker's crazy." Hey, tell him I said, "Hey." I just want to say, tell him I said, "Hey."
Yeah.
So when they walk away and then they see their brother,
yeah,
he'll say, "Did you remember me?" And they'll think, "I don't know." He just said, "Tell you, hey." so they can't say, "Oh yeah," but because sometimes I do remember that some of the stories, but I do remember it. But that's how I fade them off. I mean, and that's okay. Just like when I'm Filipino, but I had long hair. I've been Mexican and Indian and black. I've been everything. Mistaken for it. And kids or people come up and they say, "Hey, are you Choctaw like me, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, man, shit, I love it." And then you just kind of walk off, and they're like, "I told you." You hear what I told you? What?
He's one of us.
Yeah, that's exactly. And in reality, that is exactly what they want you to be. They want you to be whatever somebody's told them they are, because that's how they've taken to you, and that's how they know you. Because I like him. He's a Mexican guy. And so,
well,
and then they'll come up. The killer though is when they come up and start speaking Spanish to me.
You covered a good middle ground though. Filipino was a good way to kind of bridge it up.
Yeah, they ain't many Filipinos.
I remember seeing them in the 90s. CMT, man. I mean, I was 14. You couldn't wake up and turn CMT on without no doubt about it. It was a great song.
Oh yeah.
But that video was all over, and I would have thought probably at the time maybe Native American. His hair was longer.
When the hair was longer, it got Native American a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing I kind of noticed, and there's no disrespect in saying this.
Oh, no.
You almost forget how huge your profession was at the time because of how down to earth and how everybody sees you now. It's just we've kind of grown up as you being kind of the local legend, being accessible and being friendly, and you kind of forget how massive some of these hits were.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, we've done that by just being nice to people and just being a regular person. That's
right.
It's and it really is pretty simple. And some of these artists get eat up with themselves but the big ones that get big and maybe tend to forget about some of the others. And somebody they'll say something to me about, "What about so and so? He's done it." I said, "Look, it's the way it happens. And when you're doing well, you be pretty big. But then it doesn't take you long to stay big for you to just get over yourself."
Yeah.
In other words, I'm just a guy that sings songs for a living. I have to be on a stage, so it's automatically attraction because of what I do. People are enamored by, like, "Oh my gosh, that is so great," no matter where you are, And but I just tell them, I say, we do the same thing. If you work at McDonald's, we do the same thing. We all work for a living, and ours, people look at it like it's something special, and it is for me. But in reality, we're just all working our jobs.
Yeah.
And I got a pretty cool job. That's a good part of it.
Is that how you kind of keep at it, as you treat it like a job? Or
Yeah. I treat it like a profession.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I'm be 68 in about 3 weeks. That is why lot of people that I was in the 90s with, a lot of them, some of them are past, but a lot of them just can't sing anymore, can't get across the stage anymore. And I took this attitude on when, I don't know, late 30s, my hits started coming when I was 35. And I just thought, you know what? And I've been in the business with Charley Pride for a long time. And he's got me started. So I would watch, when I was opening shows for him in the early 80s into the mid 80s, I would watch what he does. So I studied him. I thought, you know, that's kind of the same personality I want to have. So when I decided, late 30s, I said, you know what? If I'm going to be around when I'm 68 and still performing, then this is what I got to do. I've got to drink water. I need to work out to keep my body in shape. I need to keep my voice in shape. There's so much more to it.
Yeah.
And don't stay out, don't party, you know, because I want to be as good as I can be every night. I don't want anybody to ever say, oh, I saw his last show. Boy, he just didn't seem to have it. I want them to say, I saw his last show and that was as good as I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Because we try to be that good.
Or when some of the ones, the precursors like that. Well, he was so drunk he couldn't even perform.
Yeah.
There were several of those,
let's name names.
Yeah. You know what's funny though is I heard one of the band members for Hank Jr.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Man, I get so tired." He said, "Did it happen? Yes, a couple times, but all the people that said it happened all the time, it wasn't."
No.
They were like, "What happens is Hank."
I think everybody tells the same story on Hank.
He gets sick and tired of singing the same song, so he changes it up, and people accuse him of forgetting the lyrics. And they're like, "He doesn't. He just gets sick of doing the same things over and over."
Let me tell you, I've done them so long, I am starting to forget them. And I just, I mean, the other night we were fixing to do Wink. You know, it was my biggest hit. And I turned around and hollered at the band, we don't have a set list. So I hollered, Wink, Wink, Wink. And I just got to make sure they all hear the same song. So when we do start it, they all start the same song. Yeah. We started about every person, I think at one time, one night, started 4 different songs. I mean, I hollered something and I don't know what they heard. And so I was fixing to sing this. And I mean, I just turned around and went, hang on, I'll talk to y'all. I said, that was a cluster. I just want y'all to know. And I said, it's probably started with me because I'm supposed to tell them to holler it out, but we have these ear monitors. So sometimes you can't holler it out enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way we do it. We just ad lib everything.
Well, the younger guys do it too, because I just saw Eric Church forget the lyrics to his song with Kenny Chesney out at the Sphere.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Kenny was just kind of laughing and joking with it. Did a great job of pulling him through it, but it was funny.
Yeah. And that's the way to treat it. Anytime I screw up all the time. And I tell them at the show, I said, we practice, we try to get good, but sometimes we're just not going to be that good. Yeah. I mean, I got a guitar player that'll miss stuff, they'll miss something, keyboard player, but I'm flat and sharp everywhere. So that's why I don't ever go back and watch a show of mine, ever.
His shows are so high energy, though. Yeah. I don't know if you think he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hadn't seen Neal, he does everything. It can be Bruno Mars, it's going to be Michael Jackson, it's going to be his songs, it can be anything. And I would bet you guys probably don't script a set list very much.
We don't have one ever.
Anymore. Yeah. So it's like you can tell in his shows, they just wing it and they go.
Yeah. And as long as you let everybody in, they're great. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're great because I'll stop and talk to them a lot and just about whatever they want to talk about, you know, and sometimes, well, I visit people a lot but they all know, if they don't know, I'll do 2 or 3 songs and tell them, look, I'm ADD, I'm ADHD, I got a lot of things happening. I may start this side of the room, a story, and then I may never finish that story. And he's over here, and I said, but just stay with me. Stay there, because in case I do come back.
It might,
it's not a great story when it started.
Yeah.
Are you still doing the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader thing?
We are, yeah. You know what? And this is something, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it. I got asked this year, because it's late, August, somebody wanted me to come judge Miss USA.
Okay.
Because the person that bought it and owns it now said, I've seen you on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I know you're a judge there. And I just love the way you kind of handle it and stuff. And I said, well, I would probably try to handle it a little different at Miss USA, because I don't know that I can go picking on them and making fun of them like you can at Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's where his wife's going to be. Remember, they have fathers.
Yeah. Oh, there's a great story.
I've heard that story.
Oh my God. Can I tell it?
You can tell it.
I won't mention the name. It was, I guess, 6 or 7 years ago, I was judging one of the judges. They have about, I don't know how many they have, probably 10, 12 judges. And so you go watch them and you mark them. You're supposed to mark your sheet of creativity, and about 10 different things. You got columns, you know, and you give them a number. And I don't. And that's why, I mean, Kelly Finglass, who is the one that runs that organization, kind of, she's just from over in Lindale, but she's been with Dallas Cowboys Cheerleading, and she runs it. And it's on TV now, and it's televised on lots of places. And she's pretty tough. She's hardcore. I mean, she'll tell them, and a lot of that's for the show. She's really not that bad in the show, but they mic'd me because
their first mistake.
Yeah. Well, they didn't at first. They just had a big boom mic, and I was saying stuff under my breath and all that, and they'd say, "Oh my gosh!" So they said, "We're going to start micing you." So this is what happened. I was out on the road. I bet it was 8 or 9 years ago, and my wife called me and said, "I just want you to know, her dad is going to kick your butt." And I said, "Okay. What are you even talking about?" And she said, "I just watched the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and what you said to that little girl." And I say stuff all the time. And I said, "What did I say?" I said, "I don't blame him then if he's going to be that man." We were in the deliberation room, and Kelly and I sometimes sit next to each other, and then they take after every girl, you know, they take your sheet, you know, and then they all weigh them all. And then you come to the deliberation room, and some of them are, because of their scores, are put through automatically. Everybody knows them. They love them. They dance well. They speak well. And we were in, and this is what Kelly told me. She said, "Look, I need one red-blooded American man on this panel." And he said, "And you're it." And she said, you say whatever you feel, and it works. And she said, and nothing against anybody, but she said, I have people that with hair and makeup and all that. And she said, and a lot of those people are gay. She said, so we don't really know unless we talk to somebody how they feel to most red-blooded American men. And I said, well, I appreciate it. So
yeah, that's fair.
And so they'd give me all these sheets, you know, and you're supposed to, when you're looking at the girls, you got their picture, and then you're watching them dance, and then you're supposed to take all these different things. You check this or don't check that, and I just write hot. I just write a big old HOT. So when they take it all up, and then they go start deliberating on, we're in there, and Kelly go, "Neal, what, you think this one's hot?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." "Could you tell?" She said, "Yeah, that's all you wrote on here. Capital letters, hot." But this was a girl. It was a Mormon girl, really sweet girl, and a great dancer. She had come down. Her and her mother had come down. Her mother was staying with her through tryouts, a couple of 3 months. And her name, well, a lot of people will love her. I mean, she ended up being the focus of the DCC just a couple of years after this. Well, she had, I think, a little bit of an overbite. And so we're deliberating on her, and they'll say, you know, how many yeses do we have? And I think everybody, maybe, I think 10 yeses, I'm just going to say one maybe and one no. And so they'll say, how many yeses we got? Raise your hand, because they'll match them up. Okay. And then who's got the maybe? Somebody got the maybe. Who got the no on this girl? And I just look. I wouldn't even say nothing. I was just looking around. Yeah. What's the deal on this? And Kelly said, "Oh, Neal,
you were the no."
Yes, no. I was a no. And she said, "Why were you a no?" And because I just listened to the makeup people and all these people say, "Well, we can do this. We'll cut her hair. We'll color it this color. We'll soften her makeup. You know, we can get her a retainer that will straighten out her teeth." And she just wasn't very pretty to me at that time. and I said, you ain't gonna be able to fix your head. And they just went, "What?" Kelly said, "What?" I said, well, I know y'all gonna be able to do a lot of things, but you're not gonna be able to fix your head.
You're like,
and that's so when
you said, you know what, you asked for this.
That's exactly right. And that is when my wife was watching that episode, because we didn't know when they aired. And she called and said, her dad's going to beat you to death. I said, "I'm so sorry." So she didn't make it. She made it to spring training camp. And that's the last stop. They got about 40 girls. They're going to cut it down to 36. So she got cut at training camp. So next year, I was just praying to God that she didn't come audition again. So I was talking to Kelly. I said, Kelly, let me ask you a question. We've been going in the interview room. I said, please tell me that little girl from Utah. She said, Maggie. I said, yeah, that's right, Maddie. I said, yes, ma'am, Maddie. Please tell me. She's here. and they did on purpose. Kelly said, you know where she's sitting? Right in front of you. They bring in 5 girls at a time. And I said, hey, Maddie. Hey, Mr. McCoy. Just call me Neal. That's great. I said, let me tell y'all this. We're fixing to go and we're going to talk to these girls and a whole bunch more today. Kelly, Charlotte, who's Jerry Jones' daughter, and Judy. They're the 3 main ones. And I said, I'm not even going to judge her at anything. Just give her the highest score that you get. And she looked a lot better. They had done some stuff with her. And I said, just on dance, on interpretation, everything that I'm supposed to really check all these, just mark me that I checked all of those in the best spots that I could check them. I said, is that better, Maddie? She said, yes, sir. Thank you very much. I said, you're welcome.
I think it speaks really well of coming back too.
Yeah.
But you were lucky her dad was a Mormon.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
He's peaceful.
Those guys are the nicest.
Yeah,
people.
that's right. That's
but
right.
you know, Mark Twain had a quote about that too, in Innocents Abroad, I think. He said, people want to criticize them for polygamy. He said, but if you get a look at those Mormon women, they should get a medal.
Oh, no.
Which is harsh. There are a lot of pretty girls in Utah.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of pretty girls in Utah. It's just now just turned into Neal. But Mark Twain said it, not me.
Yeah. Well, boy, whatever Mark Twain says is good.
That's right. It's funny.
Help the whole lot of stuff comes.
I want to back up to Charley Pride because I don't want to pass over that because my granddad was a huge Charley Pride fan. He was a World War II vet, Marine, Islands, Japan theater.
Yeah.
And loved Charley Pride. My dad always taught me that growing up. So when I found out you were like a protege of Charley Pride, I was like, man, that's kind of cool.
It was real cool. I actually started at the top and worked my way down. That's what I say, because he had an airplane.
Oh, there you go.
And it was a turboprop jet or something at the time. So he had an airplane. So I'd mow yards in Longview all week, and then I'd take off early enough that I could drive to Dallas and get on his plane with him. And then I'd go out and we'd perform 2 or 3 shows a weekend, and then he'd take me home and I'd get in my car and drive back to where I could still get my yards mowed. But I'm going to tell you the greatest Charley Pride story, because I've heard a lot. Some of them are not true, just like what y'all were talking about. Some of them true about Hank Jr., some of them not true. But this is I was with Charley Pride we were doing a show in Hunter Mountain, New York, big, huge tent. And we'd gone up, it had an upstairs apartment kind of thing to it. We'd all gone up to eat in, the band and Charley, and it was open to really some VIPs and that kind of stuff. And so we were sitting down, and Charley ate like it was his last meal. I mean, he'd put his stuff on the table, and then he'd just gather around it just like this. And he'd just look, make sure who's going to have to bite first, get him off of it. And then he would just sit down, put his head down, and he never quit eating until his plate was clean. We did that. We were playing in Hunter Mountain, New York, and we were all sitting around and eating. We were not as near as aggressive as Charley was. So we were just making conversation, and Charley was eating. He got done, and there was hardly anybody in there. But there was a man about 2 tables over, no one in between him. And he was sitting there, and I could see him. I could see that man. And he was I was sitting here, and here's Charley, and the man would have been right over there, but probably where Charley couldn't see it. So he sat there. Charley got done. He kind of pushed his plate away, and said something. Well, I could see that man coming over to Charley, and and you never know, people are crazy. So I just kind of scooted my seat back a little bit, and just in case something happened. And that guy stopped. He stopped behind Charley, and he said, Charley? Charley never turned around. Yep. He said, my name's so-and-so, I owe you an apology. Yeah, you do. I thought, how does he even know who he's talking to? And he said, you played some festival in Iowa. He said, a couple of years ago. And he said, you said from the stage that as soon as this show's over, I've got to get in a car and get out of here because I got another commitment. And Charley said, that's right, I did have. He never turned and looked at the guy. And he said, well, I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry, because as you were getting in the car, he said, you want me to tell you what you did? Not even looking at the guy. He said, do you remember? He said, yeah, I remember it. He said, you shot the bird at me. And that guy said, yes, sir, you're exactly right. And I found out that you actually had a place that you had to go. And he said, well, I wouldn't have lied to you. And then you could he turned his back to him, and that guy just kind of walked off. And I said, that's the greatest thing. That is how much he cares. And some of us, that's how much he cares about his fans. When he was getting in that car, he noticed after a great show, he noticed that one guy
flipped him off.
That flipped him off and remembered him.
Yeah.
Did he ever share any stories of having to deal with people on the racist side that didn't realize Charley Pride was a black man singing country music?
Yeah, that was a lot of time. But I will tell you this story too, that hadn't been, Charley didn't tell him much. He would just tell it to me a lot of times when we were just talking. He said he really didn't have much trouble with the white people.
Good.
Yeah, because it's all made out to be that a lot of times like he is and like he did, because, just the way it was. Racism was big then. He said, I never had any trouble. He said, we'd stop my bus and you'd see a sign, white people only. He said, so I just stay on the bus. I would have my guys give me something, bring it out to me. He said, I didn't go in, try to make a big deal out of it. I tell you, John Daines was his road manager for 35, 37 years. He was a Cockney from within, with the bell, inside where the bell tolls. If you live that close, you're a true Cockney, I guess. And he was that, and he was always saying some stupid words in his accent. Mm-hmm. But John and Charley was playing Las Vegas. I think he's playing the Desert Inn, maybe. And somebody sent a guy to talk to Charley. And John, his road manager, was always with him. And he said, James Brown would love to see you if you got a minute. And he said, James was playing another casino and big room, it real hot. And he said, okay, tell him we'll be up here just shortly. So John and Charley just stuck around, messing around. He said, you ready? He said, yeah. So they go upstairs, and James Brown had a couple of big old guys, around him. He had his posse kind of with him. And John said, it was just me and Charley. And said, Charley, he said, James Brown started kind of getting on to Charley and basically what he was trying to tell him is that, look, that's not your music. You're a black man just trying to capitalize on that music. And John said, I could see his, and back then, Pride drank a lot sometimes, but drank a little and fought a lot. I mean, he was, God dang, he was put together. So John, he could see Charley stepping back and balling up his fist. And so John said, man, I think we can save that for another time. He said, we may not live through that. He just told him, he said, we may not make it out of here if you do that.
Can we not kick James Brown's ass today, Charley?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, because, and so Charley, he sometimes, if you get a chance to talk to him, he'll say, sometimes I was treated maybe worse than some of the black people. And that's a prime example of it. It was just, for lack of better phrases, Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
Basically said, you sing that music, and boy, Charley, he didn't like it.
Well, some of it probably envy that he was accepted so readily, I would imagine. But I mean, if you're living a hard scrabble life in that time, I mean, country's a national gravitation.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and you could do blues, I guess. But
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But it worked for him. He said, man, I grew up listening to country music. Sorry about that. That's sweet tea. Boy, it's good too. Real sweet. That sissy sweet tea, that's for sissies. They shouldn't even call it sweet tea.
Is that something that Melinda made for you? Or
no,
what do you get?
No, the chef down there at what's that chicken place? Chicken Express. Right?
There you go. The sweetest sweet tea is Chicken Express.
Because that's what people say to me. They'll see me and go, hey, what are you eating out? What are you doing out eating out here? Don't you have a private chef? I said, I do. I got them. I got one that works at Dairy Queen. Yeah. At Steakhouse. I said, you just go up there. I just tell them what I want. They bring it to me.
Do you find people have a lot of this perception that just because you were, multi-platinum, that Neal has to be a billionaire and never worry about anything? Because, I mean, the man works his butt off. How many shows you still play in a year?
We still do probably 120 shows.
Yeah.
I put you on the road about 200 days a year.
Yeah, and I mean, if you see the energy he brings, I mean, we've shared stories about that. There were people that didn't want Neal to open for him.
There's a lot of them. I've had 2 tours I've been in it 40 years. I've only toured with 2 people, Alabama in 96 and Blake Shelton in 2014. And we played the other day, Craig Morgan, in front of Craig Morgan. Then Craig Morgan and I, and Craig and I have been friends a long time. And he sat on the side of the stage and watched the entire show. And he said, man, it's just not fair. He said that when you go on before somebody, he said, it's not fair.
Somebody's not telling you you're 68 now.
Yeah, you're right. Because I try to let all the oxygen out of the room, but with a fun show and because there's such a fine line between cockiness and confidence, and I have gotten pretty good at that line, and so I want people to know when I go start a show, especially in the older days when you're younger and you kind of think that you're hot stuff too. I would in the first or second song, I would try to do something that just let down the guard of all the men there. I'm not here to take your wife. I'm not looking at your girlfriend, and I'm just here to have fun. And if I could get you relaxed in the first 10 or 15 minutes, then you're gonna have a lot of fun. And we got it done dang near every time. By doing that, because if you and again I was talking about, because you're enamored up there and you could look like Kenny Chesney and still just kidding, Kenny.
A little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Kenny.
I knew a lady back in Alabama because I'm South Alabama.
Oh yeah.
And my first concert was Hank Jr., 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
My dad got a migraine, so he had to drop me off at Mobile Civic Center, which was perfect because I'm in 8th grade. I got a little girlfriend and a buddy with me, and we go in.
I'm hanging my partners.
And man, he was awesome. It was when he tried Hog Wild, right? But fortunately for him, he played all the stuff you knew, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of the Hog Wild, but he plays his show, then comes back out, sits on a stool, plays acoustic. He'll play on a piano. He's got his bottle with him.
Yeah.
But then at the end, he tells everybody what bar he's going to.
Yeah.
But and you're like, that poor bar.
Right.
But what I'm thinking,
even if you don't show up, they're going to make a lot of money.
The foundational moment, besides how awesome he was this girl was dancing in front of us, very, very drunk. And she sloshed her beer. Remember, I'm in 8th grade. Dad's in the car. He's got a migraine. And we're sitting here, and these 2 big old boys are sitting there. And she sloshes her beer. Well, the people in front of her turn around. One of them calls her the B word. And when I tell you, one of those big guys grabbed both of them and snatched them over those seats and beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like 8th grade. I'm like, this is awesome.
Can't wait till I can do that.
Here. Yes. I wish I was that big. That'd be cool.
You've seen the music industry over the course of decades now.
Yeah.
What are some of the changes you've had to make to kind of still stay in it and stay in love with it?
You know what? We got in at a good time, 90s country music, and now there's a pretty big resurgence of it.
Oh, for sure.
And because the younger people that have gotten in with, a lot of them came up with the bro country with Florida Georgia Line and a lot of the different things they were doing, 8-10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And now that they've been here, now they've been in country a while, they'll start to explore a little bit and say, golly, I wonder what the old people sound like. Well, we're their old people. So they have gone back to the 90s and are thinking, man, this is pretty good stuff too.
My 25-year-old will do Earl Thomas Conley, Ricky Van Shelton.
Oh yeah,
he keeps going back.
Yeah,
and he loves it. I mean, that's how they do. This generation's not just going to get what you feed them. They're going to dig in and go find, especially if it's authentic and original. Yeah.
They want to find the person. They don't want to. They don't want to follow.
Yeah,
somebody's doing well. They don't want to follow them. Well, then they'll quit because they want to be like they want to find the next person or the next group.
Well, once upon a time you tried a record label too, and it actually started well. You charted, Daryl charted.
Yeah.
How tough is that? Is it because you didn't have the insiders behind you?
If you need a write-off, it's a good thing to start it. If you're going to be a millionaire in country music, start with 10. You'll end up a $1 millionaire.
Yeah.
I opened it. It was, and I'll tell you the truth, see, because that's why y'all got me here, for the truth.
That's right.
Some of these other people, you'll interview them and say, well, listen, I know you did your own record label. Why, what made you do that? And then they'll come with some shenanigans like, well, I wanted to do this or I wanted to do that. And I just wasn't having an opportunity with the label I was with. Reality, they couldn't get a record deal.
Yeah.
Basically,
I wanted more creative.
So that's why I started mine. Some people said, why'd you start yours? I said, because I couldn't get another one. and now I'm broke. So it's okay.
Yeah. Well, no, wasn't that Billy's got his beer goggles on?
Yeah.
Charted. Yeah. And Daryl's good. Yeah.
Yeah, Daryl was real good, and he's
Charted.
He's a good guy, and he's the toughest guy you've ever met in your life.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to go back to too. Is like through some of that. Charlie obviously, but who were some of the more enduring friendships you had that kind of got behind you early and were just kind and really just?
Man, I will tell you, two of them are gone now. Joe Diffie, Daryl Singletary.
All right.
Both of them great country voices. You know, they go get that bottom and then they go get the top too. Some singers can just get either one. They either got a real low voice or a real high voice, but they could sing anything.
Yeah.
But both of them were really good friends of mine. And the thing is, me living in Longview, never moved to Nashville, and that was a conscious effort because when I started to have a little success, Melinda and I talked about it. Mickey wasn't even born yet. And she's 40, so.
Oh, you can't say that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll delete that out, Mickey. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
don't worry, Mickey, we got you.
40, seems like she's
35.
40 years. That's right. At most.
Doesn't look a day over 30.
I guarantee it. But we decided, because I'd go to Nashville, and because I had management there, record label, attorneys, everybody that was in the business lived in Nashville. It's just a place to be. But Melinda and I decided a long time ago that I'm going to try and have a music career, but I can risk one thing or another. We can move to Nashville, risk losing each other or maybe doing something and not being able to raise our kids right, and me do well, or we can stay in Longview, know that our family's going to be good and we're going to do good here, and me take the gamble on the career side. Yeah. And in a strange way, I've had my cake and got to eat it too, because we were still very fortunate enough to have a career, and we got a great family.
Yeah.
So we won. I mean, there's a lot, because a lot of them will lose spouses or girlfriends or just won't make it, and it's a really tough thing to go through, especially for the spouses. You know, they'll say, "How have y'all balanced your?" Well, I get that quite a bit. You know, have you balanced your marriage with your career? And I said, "There's not a balance. The career is it. There's no balance. There's not like an even balance. I mean, they're the ones that struggle. The ones that the spouse stay home and raise kids and work, while their husband or their wife, or whoever the spouse is off supposedly gallivanting around the country and around the world.
You're on the stage. Everybody loves you. She's doing all the hard work.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. And people that don't see it, it's okay. It is a glamorous spot to be. But I tell them all the time, I said, if you'd come out and just run a couple of 3 weeks with us, you'd, at the end of you just go, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again.
Right. Yeah.
Because it'd take a lot out of you, but it's what I love to do. I was born to entertain people.
Do you think that by not moving to Nashville, it ever caused some of the insiders to stonewall you a little bit?
Your career? Yeah, that's a great question. And I don't know if stonewall is it, but what we were talking about a while ago, there are times that I didn't get opening gigs because of, and I think some of those, the real country people were upset about it. You know, they were like, hey, I'm doing the real stuff here, and this guy's coming in with, you know, like banana baseball right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's singing a little Michael Jackson out here.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they got that. But now those same people are so respectful because they think, you know, you weren't doing it like us, but boy, you did it your way and you've been hugely successful. So,
and now more of them will do it too.
They are doing the young kids now, especially. They're wanting to get around, do a lot of rock and crazy stuff.
You and Blake got to be pretty good friends, huh? He almost plugged him into America. Was that The Voice? The Voice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a good campaign going. You know what they thought about though? Oh, they got Reba. They got lucky. You know? Neil said no, so they got Reba.
Yeah, when I'd have been better than Blake.
Know? But they were too worried he was too unfiltered. They were like, "Oh my goodness, we'll put it on network TV." You saw that Dallas Cowboys where he talked about that girl's head.
Her had a bad head.
Yeah.
But I have said some stuff in those things, and they want me to. They're not encouraging me to be stupid or silly, but they just said, "How you feel?" There was a girl, Natalie was her name. I bet this has been 15 years ago in DCC. And this before they had the big screens. All the girls now that make cheerleader are shown on that huge screen. So all the smallest defects, cellulite, anything will show up when they put them on that, that huge screen. Yeah. But this girl, her name was Natalie, and she was an Aggie. So I already liked her because we found out, where they're from, what they've done and all this stuff. And she had a stomach. It was the craziest thing. It was just so rippled. And of course they wear, just small things, shorts, and when they're auditioning, and we got in talking about them, and I just wrote stomach. Exclamation. And so we were deliberating, and Kelly, she's going around there taking all this. Who didn't like her? What do you think you would do this? That whole thing. And she said, Neal, you got stomach. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, can I ask why? And I said, well, y'all are sitting here talking about big hair or changing hair color because the people up high, going to have to see them before they had the big screens. And I said, I promise you, every man in this whole stadium will look at her stomach. They'll be able to see it up there, the last one up there. And I mean it, because I couldn't take my eyes off it. So I didn't even, she was dancing with a couple of people. I never even saw them. I mean, I didn't even mark them down.
Those abs.
Yeah. I just wrote stomach. And I mean, and she was killer too. And she does some stuff now. I think she does some podcast stuff with the cheerleaders.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And she shares that story. And I'm sure my wife is tired of hearing that story.
They're exceptionally gracious. So like we got to take Sadie back at the E10 show.
Oh yeah.
To the cheerleaders. They were so sweet. Man.
They are so sweet. Very professional.
Yeah.
And I've seen them in very tough times. I've spent a lot of hours with them. I've been on 17 USO tours. On every tour, there was some configuration of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Sometimes it was 2, 4, 8. They'd bring 10 or 12 every once in a while. And they're all the most gracious gals in the world. You would pull into a place where these guys had been in foxholes and fighting, and they would come in, and I'll give you another good story here in just a second. But they would, as soon as they get off, the guys would just go crazy, and they would just march right into them. And they were so great about treating them like a brother and sister, not trying to get flirty with them.
Yeah.
And they were just the best in the world. I would watch them work, and I thought, God, you girls are good at that. I said, I'm sure you get talked to or hit on. They said, yeah, we get a few people say some stuff that may be out of line, but we get it. We understand it.
Yeah, they're exceptionally professional. Really,
yeah, they are.
First class.
And they're really good. And I admire, and that's the reason why I admire Kelly. I just like the whole business of them. They're the most known cheer squads.
We still have one from here? Sure.
Longview. No, we had a black girl that was from here. I think
sweet girl.
Yeah. I think she was her 5th year. And a lot of times I just thought that would be the most they could do was 5 years. And I think when I started judging them 20 years ago, I think maybe Kelly or Judy said, we don't really like to go past 5 years. But every once in a while, you just had a girl that was still just as strong and just as confident, and that would go into her 6th year. And so, but I think that girl from Longview was 5 years.
Okay.
And it's hard for them because there's a lot of girls coming in every year.
Yeah.
And you got to produce. So, and they did. I was going to tell you another story, but I couldn't remember it. Doggone it. It'll come back to me. Oh, yeah. Now you're there. Okay. Yeah. I didn't even see you. I'm kidding.
So we got Joe Diffie. Charley, some other buddies in the industry that are still going strong that you like to collaborate with. I mean, like I said, Blake have a good camaraderie. I think
we would do well. I think, and I did a little collaboration with a guy named George Burge, who at the time wasn't doing well. Now he's had like 4 number ones in a row. But he came to me, he called me. He lives in Nashville, and he got my number. He said, hey man, it's George Burge. And I didn't have no idea. I said, hey, what's going on, George? Is that what you're going to give me? Because I don't know you.
Yeah.
He said, I have rewritten the words to Wink. Me and a buddy of mine rewrote the words to Wink. And I didn't know if I sent it to you, would you entertain the thought of singing a verse on it? I said, yeah. I mean, I'd love to. If I got time to come do it, I'd love to do it. And he sent it to me, and it Instead of all she's got to do is just give me that wing. It was all she's got to do is just give me that drink.
Yeah, it was drink.
And yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah, it was real good. And I guess I got with him. He didn't have any hits, so he put it out, but not too many people heard it. I texted him the other day. I said, "Man, now you got 4 number ones in a row. Why don't we put the drink back out? Help an old man out."
Did you have your own writers when you were picking the songs, or
no? I had a group of writers that I would go to.
Okay,
that just kind of write. I'm a big melody guy. I want the music to be pretty. And there are some guys that are known for the melody. Some are known for their hooks, some of their guitar licks, and just people are known for different things. So you kind of gradually move yourself over there. But no, I never had a writer. I probably should have, maybe, but I never did. But the great thing is, and when you're looking for songs, they'll have what they call a pitch sheet. So if after we were pretty successful, then that pitch sheet with Neal McCoy is looking for this, then you get a lot more things. You get a lot more songs cut because now somebody knows, oh, he's worthy of selling them. We can make more money if he cuts it.
Then we might give him a good song.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
But you got to be really selective to find that first one, huh?
Boy, they are. Yeah. And you don't ever know when the first hit's going to be. People say, man,
that was your second album, right? Huh? Your second album was the one that really hit big?
Third.
Okay.
Yeah. And it did well. Then you get all the great writers pitching stuff to you.
Of course.
They start.
But this is an argument that I've heard in country music a long time. And I remember one of my only grievances against, God rest his soul, great patriot and great artist Toby Keith.
Oh, yeah.
Was Toby used to get so visually angry at an award show when Kenny was mopping it up, Kenny Chesney.
Yeah.
And he would make these snide comments to the press like, well, I write my own songs.
Yeah.
Look, I admire that.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking one of the greatest country singers of all time, being George Strait.
Yeah. Right.
Doesn't write his own songs, so we want to be careful here.
Yeah,
like, that is not the arbiter of like who's the best, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Strait, I think he dabbles in it now a little bit, but he never wrote any of his stuff.
Yeah. And I mean he's George Strait. I mean, what are you gonna say about that, right? So that used to be my thing is like,
if you're gonna say it, you should have said it a long time ago.
And look, Toby was great, but I'm just saying, don't dig at other artists. It was like and he did get snubbed, but I mean he had a little bit of that outlaw attitude too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that alcohol has ruined many of them.
Well, I wouldn't have messed with that big dude either.
Oh, Toby?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, we actually got along great. We were at an Academy of Country Music Awards in California, and my manager and I sat down. Karen's her name, and we were eating something. Toby come over. He said, "Hey, man, can I sit with you? I don't know none of these people." I said, "Yeah, pull up a chair." He said, and he's just made conversation. He said, I'm up here. I don't know hardly any of these people, even these people that got songs on the radio. He said, I don't really hang with them, so I don't know them. And I said, well, if here's what I'm going to do then, Toby. If somebody's coming up that you should know, another artist or something, I'm going to tell you. He said, boy, that'd be great. Thank you. I said,
take it off me.
Yeah. Hey, Toby, this so-and-so. Oh, yeah, I know him.
But I do think he got to be buddies with Rodney Carrington, who's another Longview guy.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah,
that's a guy I've never met.
They did that video. What was it? Beer for My Horses?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Well, Rodney, Rodney was good friends with Darren Griffith. Darren and Trina.
Oh, yeah.
Darren and Trina know him really well. He used to, kind of like your story, you said you were cutting grass.
Yeah.
He used to do stuff like that for Darren.
Yeah.
Like he has, they have a video of him playing guitar in the house we live in now, when he came to visit.
That's great.
What was like the mountain peak moment of your career where you're like, oh, this is it?
I'll tell you, we had been in it a long time. And I sucked up to every person I could possibly suck up to and just do all the stuff. I mean, I tell kids all the time, I say, if you're going to be in a game, you have to play the game. So sometimes you'll get these younger people that'll say, well, yeah, but I'm not going to do that. You sure you're not going to do that? So, because you know why? If you don't do it, that next person right there behind you is going to do it.
Yeah.
I said, so you better suck up some of that pride and go do some of the stuff. When you get to a certain level, then you can say, yeah, I don't feel like doing that today. And everybody be okay with it. But I think when I knew that we had broken and I'd been in the music business a long time, I was 34. And we had released our third album, and we released our first single. It was called No Doubt About It. And it started climbing the charts, and I was excited that it was even climbing the charts. Up until then, I think I had one get to 28. Mm-hmm. So this one started climbing the charts, and it just kept climbing. So early in 1994, it just kept climbing. So it'd been on a long time. It was slow because our promotion team was having to do everything they could to try and get somebody to add it, payola, whatever it took, and they, once they determined people were doing payola, then they just started disguising it, like, well, you can't give me $1,000, so I sure need a new couch in my apartment, so that's, or the best way, remind me where I was on this story, the best way was us and Confederate Railroad, who was on Atlantic Records also. They took us on 4 or 5 different shows. We did one in the Caribbean, one in Vegas, 5 of them different places. And then they would invite the program director or the person that was determining what records got played at a station. They were called program director or music director. Mm-hmm. And they would invite them and their spouse. Y'all come to Las Vegas and come to this showcase that we got. We'd love for you to see who we got and what's going on. And then they'd say, come on out 4 or 5 days early and stay a few days after it's over. So they would pay for all that. So that was the payola. They weren't just giving anybody cash, but they were just
perks.
Yeah, perks. That's right.
Confederate Railroad, they still tour?
They do. Danny is the only original. Danny Shirley, who's the lead singer, is the only original out of them. They've had a couple people pass away in that thing. What was I talking about?
I had the albums. I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had the CDs back in the day. Yeah.
I know it, Dad. Ain't she cool?
Yeah. That's the kind I dig.
Yeah, that's the kind I dig.
Yeah. And Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. Was a good one, too.
Yeah.
You had said it was slowly climbing your promotion team. They were doing everything.
I was in Longview living here, Melinda and I. And this is before Mickey would have been born. Yeah, she was about 3 or 4. And I would perform on the weekends around here. Mm-hmm. I'd go out and sing big band songs, supper club music, which I absolutely love.
He was at the Rio with the other legends.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. When I had to go out to Rio, my claim to fame, I lived in Longview 44 years and I only had to play there 3 times.
Yeah.
Nothing against Rio. It's a great place.
Yeah.
But, you asked one of the greater moments.
Yeah.
The song had started climbing the charts, and in early 94, it kept climbing very slowly, but kept climbing. And it'll only stay there. Like if you were one of the first ones to play the record, now you're 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks into the record, and you've been playing it pretty hard. Now, if you're a radio station in Albuquerque or somewhere else, you need to pull off of it because you need to put something else on. You've worn this one out. Mm-hmm. But so the radio promotion people, they were the ones responsible to say, no, give us 2 more weeks. We're close. And then they would try to work their magic. Sometimes
get you a new couch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of them had like new couches. Yeah. Matter of fact, they just bought a furniture store and they just said, go by there and see which one you like.
Yeah, I got them a new couch. Yeah.
But it was Brian Schweitzer, the head of Atlantic Records, said, Neal, he said, your song's at number 2 in the country. I said, yes, sir, I see that. And I was just tickled with that. And he said, well, it moves on Monday night. People don't find out about it till Tuesday. Record people know it on Monday night. He said, so this coming Monday night, you will either have the number 1 song in the country or you'll have stopped it too. We've been on it long enough. We got to pull off of it now. I said, oh, I get that. I said, believe me, I'm perfectly happy because the number 1 song really doesn't make any more money than a top 10. Doesn't play much more either. I mean, they're all on the radio money. So I said, I'm perfectly thankful and grateful. And so I was at Canton's restaurant, a guy named David Choi.
Yes.
So I told David, I said, David, if you don't mind, they had a little club off to the side. I said, my record's got a chance of being number 1. And if not, then we're still going to celebrate. So we're going to celebrate on Monday night. He said, no, yeah, come on. So I invited friends, family, anybody that had ever pulled for me because they had pulled just as hard as Melinda and I, if not harder. When you have somebody, when you have a fan or a friend that's in the NBA or doing something, and you pull for them. They're your friend. You want them to do good. So we had a get together, and I don't know how many people we had, 150, 200 people, all in Cantons. Everybody was just talking, and we're waiting on the phone to ring, waiting on Brian Schweitzer And we were going to find out how I did. And so we were shucking and jiving with the phone rings, and then everything just goes silent. Everybody just went silent. And I thought, and somebody said, I guess you should answer it. I said, yeah, I know. And I didn't know. I said, am I ready to answer it? And either way, it's going to be great news. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. So I picked it up. I said, hello, Neal, Brian Swatcher. I said, hey, Brian, I was waiting on you. He kind of stumbled around, kind of like, and I thought, and they were all looking at me. All the people were looking at me to see what kind of reaction I was going to give. And I was trying to keep mine in too, in case it didn't make it. And I answered, and he said, well, congratulations. I said, what about? He said, I get teary-eyed. Sorry. That was such a big moment. He said, you have the #1 song in the United States of America. I said, you gotta be kidding me. And then everybody just started crying. I was going, oh my God. I said, sorry, Brian, we're all crying on this end. and it was so wonderful because it was people who had stuck by us. And when people are saying, and Melinda was working at a dress store, and she worked among sometimes these old girls could be snooty, and they would come back on the weekend or Monday and say, hey, how's your husband doing? Did he make it? Is he still, is he still trying to be a singer? And she would come home crying sometimes. And I said, just man up and stay there. Just, you keep doing your job because we're going to get the last laugh.
Yeah.
And we did. And that was proof. Because after all that time we'd been doing everything, we had the #1 song in the country, and it was a big deal. And for not just us, but for everybody in there, because we had friends that had known us since we were kids and were pulling for you. And it was just a wonderful night. And
family praying over you. I know your brother, a big influence in your life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Huge. And he sings. When he sings for the Lord. He is a music
you get
director.
to hear him in Etan. It's
oh my gosh, he is something special. And he always said, that's not me, that's God singing. I said, well, when you talk to God, I talk to him. I don't talk to him much as you do. So when you see him next, you're probably going to talk to him before I do again. I said, tell him that he's a really good singer. He said, I will. but that was our biggest point, I think, in the career. And then we had celebrations of gold and platinum albums and something like that. But that first one, first one was so huge, and it was so good. And I'll be dang, I told my wife, Teresa was the name of the girl that would pick on her the most. She'd come back, from the weekend, and she'd say, well, how's your husband doing? He play anywhere? What's he got going on? And it bothered her. And I said, we're going to get a laugh on her. You just watch. And about 2 years after that, we had the #1 song in the country. And she had moved to North Carolina, this girl had. And Melinda called. She called me. I was on the road somewhere. She said, I know y'all going to North Carolina. She said, do you have any tickets? And I said, what would anybody need tickets for in North Carolina? She said, Teresa just called and wanted to know if she could get tickets to your show. And I just said, yes. I thought that is great. And she called my wife. And Melinda said, I wanted to hang up on her, but then I didn't because I wanted to hear her revel. And
she's lucky Neal didn't get on the stage and be like, y'all know people used to pick on my wife, and one of you's here tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked. And I said, yeah, we'll get her taken care of. And we got her in. But it made Melinda feel good. And I said, because I believed in myself, just like at what y'all do. You know when you're good at it. And you know when you're as good or better than a lot of people at it. And so you just keep you just have to find the time. You just got to get in front of enough people. This is a thing that I had trouble with. And while Blake and I got along so great, when Blake first moved to Nashville, I'll tell you the story that he tells. I was at Atlantic Records. I'd come off of a couple of #1 songs. I think No Doubt About It and Wink had just been #1. And so when you walk in, I was answering phones. I just always mess with people. They had a secretary. And I said, you going? I'll get these phones. So she went back there to get coffee or something. But I just go, Atlantic Records, yeah, hang on. And I just kept sending them down. He said, I walked in. He said, I was delivering magazines for Music Row magazine. He said, nobody knew who I was. I didn't have a singing deal yet. And he said, I walked in and I saw you. And he said, I just watched you. And you were just saying, hello, Atlantic Records. Yeah, hang on. And he said, you just kept he said, you had about 10 people on hold. And he said, I just sat there and watched that. And I thought, that's great. And he said, I love it. I love what he's doing. And then he said, surely I'm not going to have to do that if I get a couple number one songs to still answer them. He said, so I thought, I may need to go back home to Oklahoma. I don't know if this is going to work out. But that's one of the great stories he tells about it. And so it's great. It's great when you are successful, because you do get to not rub it in somebody's faces, but you can tell now they look at you different.
Oh, it's validation for all that time you've been out there and had your ass kicked. I mean, look, this is any good story is going to tell you more about the failure than.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Man, well, you got a grind to do it too.
Yeah, for sure. You got a song about it, right?
Which one?
There's a line in what is it? A New Mountain to Climb, where you say,
"Oh wow."
You say something like, "Just tell me I can't do it, and I'll fool you every time."
Tell me you can do it. I'm trying to. Just give me a new mountain to climb. Just tell me you don't think I can do it, and I'll fool you every time.
That's right.
Give me a challenge, I accept it. Body, heart, and mind. A new mountain to climb. That's a great song.
That's a good song.
I sang that at my brother's church one day. He said, "Come sing something here. Come entertain these people." And he said, are you going to do a gospel? Or I said, no, I'm going to sing A New Mountain to Climb. And he knew what the story was, and it wasn't perceived as a gospel, but give me a challenge, I accept it.
Yeah.
So it was exactly, once you go back and read it, start to finish, that's exactly what it was. But it was just a heartbreak song originally.
Is he Baptist?
First Christian.
Okay, well then you could have done the shake. Huh?
Oh yeah. I sure could, especially since my sister's the preacher and Gary's the music director.
There you go.
I go in there and sing.
A little charismatic.
Devil made me do it or something.
There we go.
Used Car was a really good song too.
Thank you.
When you did that, it was a great song. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I got another one I'll send you. It's called The Good Old Days, and it is really, really good. I wrote it with a kid that's never written before, and he's in Montana, and he's so excited. I told him, I said, it may come a time if I get another chance to do a project, I'm gonna put it on that album for sure, and it's real good. You would like it if you like Used Cars. The same kind of sentiment.
Yeah.
Maybe when you were younger. It's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used Car was good. Yeah.
Well, thinking about your career, and you've seen the span from the days when you're you're greasing the palms of the music directors and things like that. Now you've seen streaming, and you know, now people don't buy physical albums anymore.
No, they have billions of streams, and I think you have to have that many to even make a little money.
Tagging on that, I'd like to who are some independent artists right now that you really just respect and admire for how they're able to pull that off?
Kane Brown.
Is he independent?
Yeah, when I played Las Vegas at a club probably 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And the owner said, Neal, he said, I'm trying to get some newer artists in here. Do you know much about many of them? I said, boy, I don't. I said, I am in my lane and I am comfortable where I am. I try to not, I not on purpose. I know where I'm good and what I do. And I'm going to try and do that instead of trying to maybe get another hit record. It's tough. And I said, right now I just go do shows. And other than some fan club members, I don't have to visit with 100 people that the radio station brought in, and not I'm against it. I've done plenty of it. So he said, right, I've heard of a kid, and they say he's been selling out 3,500, 4,000 seats when he just says, this is where I'm going to be playing this weekend. And he said, it's a sellout. And I said, what's his name? He said, Kane Brown. I said, I don't know him. I said, but I can tell you how it's going to work. If he's that successful, and he's doing that well, here's what's going to happen. He's going to end up moving to Nashville. He's going to have to get a record deal from a label in Nashville. He's going to have to get management in Nashville before he'll do anything. And he said, why is that? I said, that's just the way it is. Radio, country music radio, was still the gatekeepers at country music radio. Mm-hmm. There's a few people that have done well. Kane he'd have still been able to book those shows, but he would never be as big as he is now, because you got to go kiss the ring of the record label and the management. You have to be in there so they can get their cut off of you. And then they're going to help you. They're going to promote you and do all this stuff that you'll need, people that you'll need to know. And boy, he did it. And then we did a show with him probably 3 years after that. And he's a good guy.
Yeah. And
he sings good country music.
Yeah, Kane's good.
Yeah. And he's a good singer, and he's kind of a baritone where I am. And I said, yeah, so I like him.
And he gravitates to the younger kids too, because he can get a little pop.
Yep, he sure does. He's
Alex actually listened to Kane before I did, because it was just on her playlist. It was a trending country, and Kane was big. Yeah, but
she's a big country music fan.
She is, yeah. Good. She and she's done a lot like CMA Fest and stuff like that in the past. And when she lived down in Houston, saw some shows. She doesn't like to go anymore.
Oh yeah.
But she will also tell you. You take her to one of Neal's shows, and she's like, he's just one of the best.
Oh,
I mean, now she says the same thing about.
Oh God,
she
some
does.
of that was terrible.
She does say the same thing about Miranda.
Oh,
she saw Miranda in Nashville, and she was like, "Man, say what you want about Miranda, but wow,
she's got a lot of great music." And the things are, I tell people this a lot. I said, you come to a Neal McCoy, and I even tell them when they're there. I said, you come to Neal McCoy show, what you're going to get? You're going to get music from us. You see us, and we're going to have fun with you. We're going to joke with you. We're going to get you to sing with us, and hopefully, when it's all over, you'll say, God dang, that was really good. I said, but some of these people, especially young people, when they go to these big shows, they expect the pyro and the screens and the smoke and the lights and everything, because that determines what a good show to them is.
Well, that's your Co-Wetzel crowd. I mean, but Garth did it. I say that for my generation, Garth busted.
He's the one that started that, responsible probably for. But now, so the people won't go to just a regular show because, they're not going to have screens and everything, so it's not going to be much of a show. When in reality, it can be as much or more of a show.
Right.
Just not any, hey, watch the puppet over here, we're doing this.
Yeah, because Georgia's never really catered to that much.
Never.
Alan Jackson was he probably told you not to open for him, but Alan just wanted the music.
Alan actually, I tell you what Alan Jackson did one time. We were playing a festival. Alan was the last act. We went on before him. And not that I'm any big deal, but he did not want to come on after us. He just didn't want to follow us. So he told the promoter, or his people told the promoter, look, we've got some lights and stuff that if we go on now, they had me closing. And not that I deserve to close by out, it's the way it felt. He said, if we go on, oh, shoot. I can't remember what his thing is, but I know what he said. We really want to be last because we have lights and stuff, and it won't work while it's still daylight. And it's going so the promoter came to me and said, you have any problem with Alan closing? I said, no, not at all. So we went on, but in reality, we are just a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
And only because we're going to outwork you. That's the deal. I mean, sometimes the guy that works harder does win.
Right.
Most of the time, not true, but if we can control it, then we're just going to outwork. And Randy Owens with Alabama, they'd done about 3 shows. We were going to be playing about 20, 25 shows together. We went to the same radio station. Him and I rode in the same car. He said, Neal, he said, we had a meeting last night. And I told Jeff and Teddy and all our band, I said, we're getting our ass kicked.
You're not invited anymore, Neal.
Yeah. Well, he said, if we don't do, we got to change our attitude because or we're going to get it kicked the rest of this tour. I said, because I assure you, that guy's not going to let up.
and they're good. Like, they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
They are good. Yeah. I mean, being an Alabama boy, obviously I'm a little biased there, but Alabama's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but we outwork some people.
Yeah, it would be a hard show to follow. I can see that, especially if you're going to be like a traditionalist. But what about, have you round up on many of the Texas independents, like Casey Donahue? Robert Earl King.
I've known Robert Earl King a long time. I've never done a show with him. I've done shows with Aaron Watson.
Aaron Watson? Yeah, Aaron stayed independent, right?
Yeah. He's still independent. Well, Pat Green was independent.
Yeah, he was.
Until he
got that wave on wave. He got this little
and then all of a sudden he wasn't, and then he couldn't get another hit, and then he went back to being independent.
Yeah, because they chewed him up real quick.
Yeah.
Got what they wanted out of Pat. But yeah, and Pat's a legend. I mean, he can play anywhere down the hill country. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Aaron I actually saw here the first time in, what's that, Electric Cowboy or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I had just moved here, and people at work convinced me to go. And I knew him for, July and Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Right? Just a rodeo fan and knew it. I got the tickets. I didn't smoke anymore. Dear God, they still smoked in that place. I think I had to hang my clothes out for 3 days.
Yeah,
a couple fights broke out. And poor Aaron's up here at Electric Cowboy trying to talk about the Lord.
Yeah.
and two boys are knocking each other out over here.
Yeah.
These are smoking cigarettes over here. There's probably some drugs going on over there. And I'm just like, man, I want to. This is a great show. God bless him, but I want to go home.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all next time you're in somewhere else.
Now I did see him at Hannah House's pasture party, and he was awesome.
Oh yeah,
last year.
He's a good guy. I like him. And I've played with some of those other guys, but never. I'm kind of an outsider to them, outside of what they do. But they do know that I've been around a long time and appreciate that we've been able to hang.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know anything about them. All I knew was Red Dirt, and I'd never really known their music much. When there's a lot of good music in there. There's some that I'm not a big fan of, but
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of them are not big fans of mine.
Well, that's if you had one show that you remember, like this one show that was just, I can't believe I was ever going to be playing here. Look at that crowd. What sticks out in your mind?
Man, there's 2 or 3 of them there of those kind, and they were on the Blake Shelton tour. We played Wrigley Field in this 100th year. We played Hollywood Bowl. We played Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow. There we go.
And I got to sing, had a great band at the time, and our female keyboard player did New York State of Mind. And I said, guys, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do New York State of Mind in Madison Square Garden, where Billy Joel's house, and I'm going to do it. I said, why not? You sang the hell out of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we did, and we killed it. So a lot of those things were great. But to answer your question, any place that I've been able to go entertain troops is they're probably equal.
Yeah,
highlight, because you see what you're working for and who you're working for.
Yeah.
And I think all the veterans, not just the ones in theater and that are in some of the hot spots, but the ones who are pushing all that, and I care for them too. But when we'd gone to we went into my first USO tour I took at Thanksgiving of 2001. They bombed the towers 2001, 2 months earlier. So we just went to Bosnia, Italy, and Hungary. It was me and Wayne Newton, Rob Snyder, Shaggy. Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Then they got to one place that they couldn't let them in. So I don't know what their passports wouldn't qualify for, but there were a couple of places y'all just got to wait here until the tour comes back through. Y'all can't go there. But that we did our first one, and then the second one, which is the one that still just stands out like it was just yesterday. Wayne called me. I met Wayne and I watched him work. And we were headed back on the plane. We'd done 7 days over there. And I watched exactly how he treats people. And it mimicked the exact same way I treat people. And watched him perform. So we were going home and I went up and sat by him and I said, Wayne, he said, what you got, Neal? I said, it's like you wrote a book and I read it. And I know you hadn't read the book and I hadn't read it. He said, that's quite a compliment. He said, I can tell you this. I will never do another USO tour without you. He said, because you get it. You get exactly why you're there to entertain the people. Doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
We are bringing love and letting people know what our people at home think about you.
Yeah. It's a big
and it was and then we were home. We were home not even 2 weeks, and Wayne called me. He said, you on a cell phone? I said, yes, sir. Go to the landline, call me. I said, okay. I got home and Melissa said, what are you doing? I said, well, if you can call Wayne, he told me to go to a landline. I said, she said, this ought to be good. I said, yeah. So he called me, or I called him. He said, and I called him. I said, what's going on, Wayne? He said, well, the USO tour went great. People loved it. It's the first one that had been done in a while. And he said, people love it. And now, Joint Chiefs of Staff has called me and said, wants to know, can we do another one in about 2 weeks at Christmas? And I said, yeah, I can. I said, where are we going? He said, well, I can't tell you. But he said, this is what I'll say. Sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I got it. I said, now I know you have to give me a day or two, because the last one, my wife was happy and wanted me to do good. This is going to be a different story when I tell her.
I'm going to be in the doghouse for a while.
Yeah, where I'm going, it's going to be a different story. He said, I know it. He said, I hadn't done it in a long, long time. I said, who else is going? He said, Drew Carey and I don't know, 3 or 4 of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I said, okay. I said, I'll get back to you. He said, sooner the better.
No pressure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go ahead,
I went
go
home
ahead and piss Melinda off and call me back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I went and I told Melinda, I said, Wayne wants to know if I want to go with him on the USO tour. She said, when? I said, Christmas. She said, that's in a couple of weeks. I said, I know. I said, I know. She said, how long are you going to be? You going to be there through Christmas? I said, I think so. I think we're supposed to come home the day after Christmas. And she said, so where exactly are you going? I said, I don't know because I can't tell you, and I wouldn't tell you even if I did know. She said, I know where you're going. You're going to go to Afghanistan. She said, because that's where those are the first guys on the ground. And I said, I bet that's right. So we did fly to Afghanistan, and we flew into Camp Rhino, which was the first base the Marines started, because there's a lot of cockstrong Marines on the initial push across Afghanistan. You know, then they ended up using Guard members who were a little older and a little smarter sometimes, but they were using Marines just to push through. So we went and we went, and Wayne's wife was there, Kat. They didn't ever go anywhere or do anything without each other. And the General Tommy Franks said, she can't come. And we were in D.C. fixing to board a plane. And Wayne said, well, she goes everywhere with me. He said, she ain't going there. So Wayne, and I was listening to him, Wayne just had to go over there and tell her, you can't go on this trip. And the general said, you know, this could be, you know, something could go wrong where we're going. And I'm just telling you that. So if your wife or family's got a problem with it, just know we get it.
So he and Wayne Newton both went with their wives mad at them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We had to bring back a lot of stuff.
Did,
I got her new couch second we came back.
You guys got to go to a Wayne show too, right? Have you been to several? Because you know Wayne well enough to think Melinda, I saw something one time where you guys got to go see one of his shows in Vegas.
Yeah, we've been on. And Wayne told me that day, he said, you're going to remember these trips the rest of your life. And the reason you're going to see these kids. You're going to be down 20, 30 years down the line, and you're going to hear somebody sent word that they saw you 30 years ago in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And it happens. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it was so moving. We stopped at Camp Rhino, which is first base, landed 2:00 in the morning, complete darkness, infrared lighting on the inside. And I was sitting up in the front, and the whole windshield turned into infrared scope, basically a night sight
vision.
Yeah. And it turned to that. And I was just going, that is amazing. I said, can they see us landing? I said, no one can see us landing. Somebody can hear us, but they can't see us. And we landed, and we got out, and they put us in these Humvees, and they said, we're going, you're not going to see a thing. You won't be seeing anything. Everything's lights out. They said, we got night sights on it. And they said, we're gonna go into it's basically a small hangar. And so that's where we're going. And so we were just, you could hear the Humvees. You couldn't even see them. They were about a mile away. And they said, come, I got you. So they took us, they grabbed our arm, and they got us in there. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And you could hear gunshots. And Wayne looked, he said, Neal, have you ever experienced anything like this? I said, no, sir. He said, I can tell you, I haven't either. He said, I've been in a lot of places. We got in there. They had boarded up the windows out of this place. They turned on a string of probably 60-watt light bulbs. And they had a string just like that. And that's what they had. And we went in, and all these kids were sitting Indian style with their guns butted up, and they're all holding their rifles up like that. And they're sitting there, and we're looking at them. And I said, this is crazy. I could not believe it. And we got out of there and hugged necks and shook hands, and we couldn't stay very long. So we took off again. The next place we're going was to Kandahar, where we had just bombed their airport and taken over their airport. And so we get there, and same thing. We land, complete darkness. And when I was landing, General Franks, who was a dear friend of mine, and ended up being a dear friend of mine, said, now let me tell you how we bomb these places, because we don't want to destroy them, because we're going to use them. So they just bomb strategically to where a plane can't take them. So then all they got to do is they can go back and fill the holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought, that's pretty smart. So we get to Kandahar. It's craziest thing. Same thing. We landed in darkness. They put us in these, I don't think they were Humvees at that time. We got in, and we went and we got the same kind of treatment. A generator was running when we got in, and they done the same thing. They just strung some regular light bulbs, and it was amazing. And these kids, and they would come in and they'd sit, and they would take their goggles and they'd push them up on their head, and you could see their eyes were white, and the rest of them just dark brown. They'd been there 45 days and had not taken a bath or shower. Mm-hmm. And I said, this is so crazy. And we were there. General Frank said, I'm going to go visit somebody. Him and I became friends, so we would talk. He said, you're from Texas. I grew up in Texas. I was born in Oklahoma. But he said, I'm going to go visit a couple of people. We probably won't be here very long. I'm going to go visit a couple of folks and see what they've got. I said, they've got intel, huh? He said, well, call it what you want to. But I got to go visit. I won't be able to see a show. So we go in. We're also another 4-star that's retired with us. And I sang a couple of songs. Charlie had a keyboard player bring a battery-powered keyboard. And he had a guitar player, acoustic player. He brought him with us. And I sang, I don't know what was, City Put the Country Back in Me, and no doubt about it.
That's one of my favorites, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's a good.
City Put the Country Back.
Especially when you run bound rednecks, it's kind of old, good redneck
That's
song.
why it's one of my favorites, because I'm from South Alabama. We're deep south here.
Yeah, boy, it's a good one. It's a good record. I sang that. Wayne did a couple of songs. Drew Carey got up. He did one joke, and the 4-star said, Neal, tell Wayne we have to leave right now. I said, Wayne? And Drew just started on the second joke. I said, Wayne? He said, yeah. I said, we got to go right now. He said, let's go. He said, Drew, we're going. So we got out, we climbed out a broken window, and I was just going, oh my God. And this, it's the greatest thing. This is one of the great stories. We got out, and we were in total darkness. They stopped. They were trying to gather everybody so we could get us together. And a young troop from Tyler, Texas, grabbed my arm. He said, Mr. McCoy, he said, my name's so-and-so, so I'm from Tyler, Texas. He said, I'm a huge fan. He said, I'll get you to your plane. I said, you've got me. So I'm going with you. And they had given us one glow stick when we landed and said, if you get into emergency or you have to see where you're going, you can break that for a second, just so you can kind of figure out where you are. Yeah. And that guy got me, and I said, man, I got this glow stick. He said, yes, sir. That makes a great target. I said, I'm putting it up my ass right now.
I think it's cool that there are organizations funding stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what
it's USO that does it,
man.
United Service Organizations. Yeah. And they don't, MWR is the ones that, they pay some people and stuff.
Yeah. Because, I'm like the first in, I don't know how many generations my dad could tell you that did not serve.
Yeah.
All my first cousins served. My dad was Army, was in Korea during the Vietnam era. My mom was retired Air Force. Granddad was the Marine, World War II. Had an uncle that was Air Force. My other uncle Army, so everybody served.
Yeah.
And I remember I had these buddies in high school. 2 of them decided they're going Marine, so then they sicked the recruiter on us, right? And at this time, it's like I graduated in 99, so they signed up in 98, maybe early 99. Well, nothing's going on.
Right.
Like, what a boring time. And they're like,
it's a start.
Well, they're like, that's the best time. Nothing's going on. Why wouldn't we join now? And they both go in. I think both of them were recon. I got one of them scheduled to come out here sometime in July. And man, they sign up and they're gone. And we actually went up to see one dropped off at Paris Island.
Oh, wow.
And then went to watch him graduate when he got out of training there.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yep.
that kid that grabbed me by the arm and got me to the plane. I'll tell you what Wayne Newton does. He's been doing USO tours since Vietnam. So a long, long time. And he brought a bunch of them with him, almost index card side. And he would pass them out, and he would say, write a letter to your mom or your dad, give me their names, give me their phone number, and I will call them when we get back to the United States of America. Wow. And he had done it since Vietnam. It was the greatest thing in the world. And so they didn't have much time to write a note or much pad, but they would write it, and they would give them to Wayne or some people around us, they'd say, and they'd have them say, and that kid from Tyler, he got me just to the plane. He said, Mr. McCoy, he said, my mother's a big fan. Could you, and he said, nothing against Mr. Newton. I can't tell you how much this is great. He said, Mr. Wayne, would you call my mom instead of him? I said, sure I would. And it was Christmas Day. We were at Patsy's house when we, just after Christmas, we just got back. And I had that kid's card, and he said, and they wrote a note. He said, he said, tell Dad that he's made me the man I am. And he said, and I said, that's what you're right. He said, yeah. So I called. I couldn't get an answer. We were eating at Christmas, just after Christmas at Patsy's, and I just kept calling. I'd go outside, call. And finally, a lady said, hello? And I said, yes, ma'am. This Miss So-and-so? She said, yes. I said, my name is Neal McCoy, and I was just with your son in Afghanistan. She started bawling. I was going, oh my God, I started crying too. I said, what are we crying about? I said, I said, he's okay. Maybe that's what she thought.
Mama says, tell me nothing's wrong.
Yeah. I said, no, he's okay. He said, he just wanted me, if whoever answered, if you answered, to let your husband know that he is the reason that he's become the man he is today and serving in Afghanistan. And she just bawled. And I thought, how cool is that that you would do that? And I said, Wayne, how do you do that? He said, in Vietnam, he said, when we got home, we would get 20 people on phone, almost like what you see a March of Dimes, where people are calling in. Mm-hmm. And he said, I would go, and they would hand me the thing, and I would see it to who it was and what the note was. So Wayne would just pick up the phone. And he said, hey, Wayne Newton. And he just said, this, your son or your daughter said that this is the so-and-so and so-and-so. And they would go straight to crying. He said, I'm so sorry. I have to leave to call other parents. And they said, no, we understand. Thank you. And he would do that and did it for hours on hours.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah, that is really, really good stuff. And when I tell that, and I forget to tell people that, because how moving it is. And for them to just slow down a minute, just to think, what I want to write, Mom or Dad, and then it makes them think of them. Then they get like, oh my God, I won't be able to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. You've also played the Ryman too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a few times. Yeah. It's a great place. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, I'm going to tell you all this, I feel like I am right on the edge of becoming a member to the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know it's coming. I mean, we played there a couple of weeks ago, and Dan Rogers, who's the guys there, I said, Dan, he said, I'm going to stop you. I know what you're freaking telling me.
So I paid my dues and some.
Yeah, that's right. And I see a lot of younger people y'all got coming in here, and I get it. You gotta grow your audience also along with it. So you're bringing younger people in, so young people will come and find out more about the past and the what country music was and how far it's come. So I get that. I said, but there are some of us other folks that have been around a long time, and I said, and we may not deserve to be in it, but we think if you round us up and other people, maybe our age, maybe we would get the nod there.
Yeah.
And he said, I know everything you're saying. And he said, just be patient with me. He said, and he said, it'll be soon. And I think it's so cool because I do see other people that are, become members of it. And I think it's just be cool, something to brag about,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the Grand Ole Opry, man. I mean, it's the pinnacle of country music. I mean, you go back to the Carters and
Oh man. And there's only 70 something people in it.
Yeah.
The rest, because once you die, they take you're a former member.
Yeah.
But while you're alive and well and everything. So it'd be pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So females in the industry, who are some of the ones that stick out to you that you played with or just?
Oh, Martina McBride.
Yeah.
She become a dear.
Pipes, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Pipes.
She great singer and we have a great history, a great past. In 1982, 83, they were having a national contest. Wrangler Jeans was sponsoring a national contest. And if you won the state, you're in, then we're going to take, other than the 49 winners, we're going to go to Nashville and compete to see who would win. They had some great prizes. I think you got to go in the studio and record something. Mm-hmm. And so I'd won the state of Texas, and Martina had won the state of Indiana. We didn't know each other. We get there, and we're just making small talk and stuff. I said, "Where are you from, girl?" She said, "I'm from Indiana." She real country. I said, "I'm from Indiana." I said, when do you sing?" We had our assigned time. We were supposed to go sing for the competition. And she said, "I'm so-and-so. When you at?" And we had to be pretty close. So right after that, we went over. All the people did their singing. They didn't announce the winner then. They were going to announce the next day after they talked about some other stuff. We went over to, Crystal Palace, where Randy Travis was playing. He was a waiter there, and he was playing there. And he was, and he would sing, he'd take a break and sing some songs. And he was Randy, at that time, he was Randy Trawick, which is his real name. And then he changed it to Randy Ray, and then to Randy Travis. Yeah. And we went and bombarded the place, a bunch of kids, and some family members. And there, I bet there was 8 of us sitting on a piano stool at one time. And the rest of us were just waiting on their place to play. We had a good piano player, and they'd play, and we'd sing. Well, come to find out, we didn't, neither one of us placed. And we have been both very successful. and I tell her all the time, I said, "Martina, I cannot for the life of me remember who won the thing." She said, "It was a band." I remember that because I listened to them and I thought, they're not better than me. And so every time we get together, and she forever, she didn't win the CMA Female Vocalist of the Year. Of course, you were competing against Reba and Trish and a lot of those people, and Martina hadn't been in it as long. And every time I'd do an interview, somebody would ask me anything, whatever they asked me, I'd say, Martina McBride ought to win the Female Vocalist of the Year from CM Country Music Association. And then I would answer the question. So I just did that everywhere.
And she did, didn't she?
She did. She ended up winning it.
Yeah.
And we were at the award show, and I stood up in my seat and clapped. Yeah. Everybody else was just looking at me like, "What's the deal?" I said, "What's the deal? It's y'all are damn dumbasses. She should have won it 5 or 6 years ago." Yeah. She won it. And a great singer. And just a cool girl. Her and her husband. And others, we've played with some great folks.
I mean, he mentioned Reba.
Yeah.
So Reba's one of the icons, like, to me, that it's like, can they really be as authentically kind in person? Her and Dolly Parton, as they seem, can they really be that sweet?
They are. Yeah. Dolly, we played at a place. We opened for her at Ponderosa Park, Salem, Ohio. I'll never forget it. It was one of Titan, our grandson's birthday. He's fixing to be 15. Yes, so it would have been him. And we opened for Dolly Parton, and she was so sweet. We're all backstage. After we came off stage, all my family bombarded her. And I said, "We got a birthday party." She said, "Well, come on, let's sing Happy Birthday." Who? I said, "It's Titan." She said, "Y'all gather around here." And we all sang Happy Birthday. And I said, "Dolly, I can't think enough." And she said, "Oh, you would do the same thing for me." She said, "I know, I can read people, and I know when people are people and when they're not people." I said, "Okay, good." Yeah. I said, "I'm a people, ain't I?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "You'd have done the same thing." So I said, "You mind if we take some pictures?" She said, "No, come on."
So Titan got a happy birthday from Dolly Parton.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Big deal. You know what? No, Suede.
It was Suede?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
He's 32 now.
He was rushing it, but yeah.
Yeah, it was Suede. I thought.
Yeah.
I know it. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Real cool.
My Luke Casey concierge.
That's right.
I told you guys,
he is going to hound
if you
you.
want the Luke Casey gear, you can find him on Facebook and just shoot him a text like I do. He'll have to give you his number. I'm not doing that to him.
Call me. I'll give you his number. He needs to sell more.
There we go.
But I do always get the, hey, man, these are about to drop. And I'm like, I'm in, or I don't really love those. I mean, he helps me out with Alex, too.
Yeah, he loves it. And he always appreciates visiting with you. And he called me the other day. He did call me the other day. He said, Dad, are you going to do Jeremiah's podcast? And I said, somebody reached out to me, and this was before he called me. And I said, I'm trying to make time to do that. I
probably had Mike reach out before I told.
It made me?
Because Swade probably hit me with hey, look what's coming out. And I said, man, why don't you get your dad? And, but the thing about it is like, I knew, like, all I'd have to do is see Neal and ask him, because Neal does stuff like this all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up here when we did BCB, which is a lesson I learned. I'm not going to be a clothing brand. Okay?
I understand.
But he did.
Well, do you have any large left over?
It was fantastic. I'm going to look for you, because I actually tried to look before this.
Okay.
Because I was like, man, where'd my container go? And so we'll find that.
Yeah, give me a large.
He did the greatest little commercial we had. And actually, his people are where you got traction. Like, if you told them Neal 10 or whatever, and if he shared it, then that was where people cared. I learned an expensive lesson.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You can afford it.
Not as bad as a record label.
That's right.
Yeah, not nearly as bad as that, for sure. It wasn't that expensive, but.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you feel more confident about it, holler at me. If you ever get confident thinking, we could have had a label.
Yeah, we could have had a label.
Yeah.
Because we know
Where'd it go?
We know something the machine in Nashville doesn't know.
That's exactly right. We know a lot that machine in Nashville doesn't know. But they still know a lot.
It's so different now, too, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with all the internet.
Well, people can just put themselves out there. They can go viral, which, I don't understand. I'm not a social media guy, really. I mean, I have one, but it's not my thing.
Yeah. It's
TikTok.
Yeah, a lot of places you can go. And you really, what happens, you see things that go viral, then everybody says, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go. And they'll tell you, I'm going to go viral before they start shooting everything. They go, you have no idea what you're even talking about. That stuff, you just do something and then put it up. It might go viral. Odds are it's not going to.
Right.
But don't plan to make something viral.
Yeah, the funniest stuff is organic, right? Or somebody just drops a song on their heart and everybody's like, man, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's neat.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
People trying too hard. I mean, you can tell what's authentic and what's not. Same thing with you. I mean, Neal's going to say, if you talk to him long enough, some stuff's going to slip out of that mouth he didn't think through, and it's hilarious, and it's who he is.
We talk a lot of smack.
He has, when we go to Etan, he'll get up there and he's got all these sponsors, and it's one of the funniest things in the world. He loves all his sponsors. He's very thankful.
That's right.
But man, he will crack a joke at their expense so fast. And most people would not do that,
Oh, yeah.
He'll make a joke about the Cowboys record, and I'm thinking, I don't know if Jerry will take that very well.
I often want to hit delete. But it's once it's out there, I go, oh my God, I should have said that. Like a girl with bad head. I didn't.
Well, you didn't get beat up for it,
No, that's
right. And she made it. I mean,
she made it, and it became one of the biggest star on.
All's well that ends well.
Her fifth year, she was focused. Right. Yeah.
That's nice. And your daughter is one of my favorite people to pick on.
Oh, and she does a good job back at you.
She does.
She accepts it well, and she gives it out well.
She does. She does dish it out pretty
She's
well.
a great kid.
Yeah, Mickey's fantastic.
Yeah, she is a great kid.
family friend. They knew Alex before me, really. I remember Sadie one time, you and Melinda took Sadie home when we were in the same neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
With Ryan and Mickey.
That's right.
And Sadie I'd already heard her 4 or 5 times. I want to meet Neal McCoy. I want to meet Neal McCoy. I want to go to Neal McCoy show. And she knew like Wink and the Shake, which are catchy for kids, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Mickey calls and tells Alex, hey, my parents are going to drop him off. Well, Sadie comes in the door. I said, who dropped you off? She said, well, Titan and Dash's grandparents. I said, mm-hmm. I said, you remember somebody you told me you wanted to meet? She's like, Neal McCoy. I said, he just dropped you off. She's like, oh my God.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, she got to meet those cheerleaders too. She was over the.
Yeah, she did.
And the other little girl's like, I've never been to a concert before. This is so awesome. And your son-in-law was like, you poor thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is your first concert. And I was like, man, Neal puts on that great show.
You'll never be the same.
Yeah.
In closing, what is a new mountain you're planning on climbing?
Oh, wow. You know what?
Are you still doing coffee?
No, I learned that lesson like you did.
Okay, BCB. Yeah, I got you. Well, but I would have drank it.
Okay.
There we go.
I do love my coffee, but UConn.
I appreciate you asking. Matter of fact, I'm fixing to open another line of it.
Another line of coffee. Yeah. Once we get
Together, we can't lose.
Once we get more than 30 subscribers, then we'll have you back on. Let you talk about it. We don't have your Facebook following.
Hey, you know when?
but
Let me know when this is going to run because we'll tell our people, and they'd love to see it.
well, you always you actually get to listen to it first and say,
Oh,
it's okay.
okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, let me know.
You got it. I will.
Yep. He's really good at that.
Good.
He does the production.
How long you been doing this stuff? A long time.
I mean, podcasting for probably the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. I do a little bit of everything, but this is something I really enjoy. So
Yeah.
I think you just get to interface with people and,
Yeah.
feel the humanity of it. There's still a little technology, but the face-to-face is, you miss that
Yeah.
in life.
You
so.
sure do.
Yeah.
And these young kids are missing it. It's going right past them. They can't look you in the eye. They can't,
Yeah.
it's terrible. And I don't know what to do about it. I mean, is your battery getting low on that one?
I don't know.
Is that
You're
what that is?
two.
Yeah,
You're two,
that
though.
we got.
I know that Titan and Dash both do. They're eye contact kids, handshake. I know
Oh,
that.
man, yeah.
It's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. But
We got a little legend coming up.
That's right. That's right. Pretenders. Wannabes.
No, we do thank you, man. Taking
You're
time
welcome.
out of your schedule. Sorry we interrupted you on your tractor day.
Oh, no.
And we broke it. We made you rush and break it. So
Dang, I broke the
super
dang
cool for you to come.
PTO shaft.
Yeah.
It sticks out.
You
know how
come
to do
did a up and coming podcast with a nobody, and I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. How long you been doing them? How many you done?
Oh, are we on 4, Mike?
This is episode 4.
Well, I see when I get a lot of requests to do them,
Yeah.
but I don't do them. So
Well, you made the right choice.
that's right. That's exactly right. If you could open that door, I'd be all right.
That's right.
That was Alex's old door at Timeless.
That's a cool.
So I'm sure your wife and Mickey would recognize it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, is it out of your house?
It was at her shop,
Oh.
the old spa,
Oh, yeah.
before she moved over here.
I bet they would recognize it.
Yeah.
Her business is good, isn't it?
Yeah. She's the real master in this relationship. You know that.
Yeah.
She's the brain. She
I understand.
runs a great business. Yeah. It's
But
definitely Alex.
You have fun.
Oh, I have a great time. Yeah. If she wants me to be a stay-at-home dad, I might do it.
Yeah.
She just got to give me
Right.
the go-ahead.
There we go.
Yeah.
You got a built-in business.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
like
okay.
neighbor Gatsy on Breadwinner.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. No, thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Were you saying
absolutely.
something? I think I cut you off, but
No, sir.
you're good. Your
Good.
battery's dead, so you ain't gonna get nothing out of that one anyway.
We got one below it, so we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Redundancy.
I don't even try to look at mine anymore because I look like an idiot. I watch them on YouTube and my eyes are all crazy, like looking over there.
Wait till you see me in this hat. God, he was like, what's going on with that?
Well, I got a new one for you,
great.
an FST
Okay.
hat.
There we
and
I'm
go.
gonna get it. I'm gonna wear it. It ain't gonna stick around long. It'll be filthy, but
That's what they're for.
yeah, that's
That's
right.
it. Yeah.
Well,
It's
I
been
appreciate it. Thank y'all for letting me be a part of it.